Okay, in terms of the user group, in terms of what we're here to do, okay, we are here from MAP's perspective, from TSI's perspective, from MAP Customer Care's perspective, is to listen, hear what you guys are requesting, what you want, and then to act on that. And the acting on that is a partnership of us acting to get the software to do what you want it to do, and you acting to implement those things. Okay. Last year I talked about at the opening session was a call to action. Implement. The tools that are provided for doing things like design line, phenomenal. Okay. You're going to see stuff at this session regarding design line. Your head's going to go kaboo. We have trained the trainers before this meeting, and we go through all the PowerPoints, and we kind of get updated on all the latest stuff. And we've got some stuff that Brian Gruhl, do not miss his, the plumbing one, I think it is. Incredible. You know, being able to do slope pipe with carriers and P-traps and all the things working in there. Our job is to basically listen to you guys and implement that stuff. But you have to meet us halfway. You have to come in and say, yes, I want to implement that. And I think that's why most people are here, is to get more out of that investment they put into their software. So Greg Davis, the last 2 years, has spent a lot of time putting together the schedule and putting together topics that are meaningful. The bottom line is a lot goes into figuring out and calculating exactly what information is going to be deployed here. We do listen to you guys. We do hear you. Sometimes it may be difficult to hear criticism. If it's constructive criticism, I'm all for it. There was a recent post on EST-CAD, got a little banter with somebody about whatever, and then they kind of went to talk about, well, I think it's good that there's an open forum that people can bounce ideas back. It gets it out there, and if they don't know that we want it to do this way, how are we supposed to know that? As long as it's constructive, I'm all for it. And that's what the user group's all about. That's why it was created, so that we could meet face to face. And you can say, hey, Jim, I'd like it to do this. Hey, Andy, how about adding that text option to do that? That goes to a wish list item, and the next year you see it, and the software is that much better for it. That's what the user group meeting is about, from our perspective, in terms of listening and putting that into action. This year, we've added more new topics. We've added levels in terms of the beginner, advanced, intermediate. We've added more labs this year, and probably the biggest change that we did, we used to take the wish list, which one was small, it was like a bunch of guys sitting around and said, what do you want to do? Now, we've taken that, we've moved it to today, and we've busted it out by each individual topic to get feedback. We're going to review that feedback and hopefully come up with some more ideas and do some analysis on that on Friday, early. Because what happens was, last year, when we had over 400 people here, the mic was stuffed. We couldn't get enough people to get enough feedback. And so people had lists, and we had to go through a different process. It wasn't kind of the more of a democratic process where people say, I like this, I don't like that. So we busted that up into segments based on the products themselves to get more valued feedback. As the products continue to diverge and get more and more, we need more feedback across the board. The members at the TSI and MAP, I think sometimes it may seem like there's just a wall, maybe from, I'm trying to get support. Who am I getting support from? Okay. If you look at the people that are in the organization between MAP and TSI, you'll find that there's people that range from past business owners, project managers, estimators, detailers, VPs. They'd be called probably BIM managers now today. Positions like Lewis used to have. IT managers, those types of things. Union members, trades members. Talking to someone last night, they were saying, all the guys that draw their software, they're all 20 years experience. And the people that are training you guys, people that are taking support calls, they have this similar experience. Okay? I think it's important for you guys to know that and know what we've put from our side into the pot to say, hey, we want to make you guys successful, okay? This last year, I'm trying to remember what it was, a couple months ago, there was a conference, and it was a call to the industry of software vendors to come together and talk about interoperability. And it included our competitors, software competitors, and it included MCA, it included SMACNA and NECA, Building Smart, which is IFC, the group there. And I mean, the short of it was, let's not get IFCs crammed down our throat before we actually consider what it means to manufacture something. I mean, that's kind of for me, that's what summed it up for me. That's why I went to say, hey, let's not be forced to a standard that doesn't take into consideration the people that have actually been doing BIM for the last 20 years, which is the people that are in this room right here. So anyway, the guy got talking about all the changes that BIM is having on the industry and what we can expect to happen moving forward. And he drew a parallel in talking about where the farming industry was in the 20s to where farming industry is today. Okay? And we've already seen some of this change happen on the service side. Service trucks being outfitted with GPS systems, payroll systems, time retrieval, mobile technology, billing, inventory control. And we've seen, I know from our database and the customers that we track, in the last 7 years, we've already seen a change in the population of people that are involved in service. And it's percolating to the top of the people that are leveraging the technology to be able to do service effectively. So if you look at where we were back in the 20s doing farming, I know my grandmother was one of 10 kids, I think it lived in Iowa on a farm. That was their business. And what were the barriers of entry to farming? Fertile parents, I don't know. Using your family, you've got a plot of land, you need some rain, and you work hard and you bring your products to market, okay? Not unlike today, you get a truck, you go to the supply house, you grab some pipe, and you go into business as a plumber, you take a notepad and you say this is the cost, and you go and install it, okay? That change in that industry happened in agriculture because of technology, because industry saw the inefficiencies that were inherent in the process of farming. And technology today in farming, you don't even recognize it. These farms are gone in terms of, you may have had a few boutique organic farming, but the world is fed by corporate. The world is fed by mass production principles, technology applied to farming, to where we're not in there picking this stuff by hand. This equipment is driven by GPS, satellite systems, management control systems, sophisticated. I'm not a farmer by any means, but I can tell you right now, the industry has changed and technology changed it. So you got to think about from your company, where's your company going to be? Where do you want to be? Do you think there's going to be consolidation? Do you think that BIM technologies take job site solutions? That's like probably the best example of using a technology. The information is there, you add another piece of equipment, and now you're laying out points in the field on a handheld device that's telling you exactly where to go, and there's my spot. Okay? Who would have thought that would be available today? But yet, it is being done now. Extend this out, and where BIM is, just thinking about where it can go in the future. Okay? So that's, maybe that's my scare to action, I'm not sure. But I just thought it was a very interesting comment that the guy made, that the technology changed the industry. And this is just one example I think a lot of people can relate to.